What if the loyalty you are so proud of is actually the very thing keeping you trapped? If you have ever left a door open for someone who never truly returns, standing in the cold just in case they decide to walk back in, this is for you. Most of your exhaustion does not come from what is happening right now. It comes from the heavy, silent labor of holding a space for someone who is no longer there. Stay until the end, because the final truth may change the way you see this painful waiting forever. We are often taught that love means enduring, that holding on, no matter what, is a sign of deep devotion. So, you leave the door cracked, you check your phone, you replay old conversations, and you leave a part of your life on permanent pause, just in case they are finally ready to stay. You tell yourself you are just being supportive. You tell yourself it is loyalty. You believe that if you wait long enough and care deeply enough, they will see your dedication and return. But waiting for a boat that has already sailed does not make you a good sailor. It only ensures that you remain stranded on the shore, watching the horizon until your eyes ache. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that a great deal of human suffering comes from our inability to see things exactly as they are. We suffer because we cling to the illusion of what could be, rather than accepting the reality of the present moment. This clinging is called attachment, and attachment has a brilliant, clever way of wearing beautiful masks. It dresses up as patience. It disguises itself as unconditional love. It calls itself hope. But true love brings a deep sense of peace, while attachment brings an anxious, quiet dread, a constant, exhausting vibration in the background of your life. Imagine standing at the threshold of your home during a bitter, relentless winter storm. You keep the front door wide open because someone you care about is out in the cold. You want them to know they are always welcome, but hours turn into days and they do not appear. Meanwhile, your home, your mind, your heart, your energy is freezing. The wind howls through your sanctuary. The snow piles up on your floor. By keeping the door open for someone who has chosen to wander elsewhere, you are slowly destroying the warmth of your own house. You are letting the storm inside. We do this constantly in our lives. We leave energetic doors open for people who only reach out when they are lonely. We keep emotional space reserved for those who refuse to commit, who drift away but keep us trapped in their orbit with empty promises and breadcrumbs of attention. You tell yourself that by closing the door, you are giving up on them. You feel guilty, as if protecting your own peace makes you cold or uncaring. You mistake self-abandonment for loyalty. Ask yourself this. Think about your own life. Is keeping this door open bringing you peace, or is it feeding your fear? What are you truly afraid of? Are you afraid they will not come back? Or are you afraid of finally turning around and facing the empty room? Pause. Breathe. Observe this feeling of waiting without following it. Notice the heavy weight of it. Let the feeling rise without making it your identity. You do not have to slam the door shut today in a fit of anger. You do not need a dramatic goodbye, but you must realize that you are allowed to step away from the draft. You are allowed to walk back to the fire, sit down, and warm yourself, because peace is not found in controlling someone else's return. It is found in releasing the need for them to come back at all. But recognizing this draft is only the first step, and this is where the next truth begins, because we must look closer at the beautiful disguise our pain is wearing. 2. When attachment disguises itself as loyalty, here is a truth few people want to face. The tighter you hold onto a one-sided connection, the more you convince yourself it is an act of virtue. You tell yourself that you are simply being loyal, that you are the kind of person who does not give up easily, who stands by those they care about, even when things get difficult. You endure the long silences. You forgive the broken promises. You accept their sudden disappearances and their convenient returns. You convince yourself that by staying rooted while they wander, you are proving the depth of your love. You believe that if you just remain steadfast, one day they will look back and finally recognize your unwavering presence. But this is where the deep deception lies. What you are calling loyalty is often a cage. In Buddhist thought, there is a profound distinction between love and attachment. Love is free, spacious, and deeply rooted in the present. It wishes peace for the other and peace for oneself. Attachment, however, is rooted in fear and lack. It is the grasping mind trying to force an outcome. One of the deepest lessons of Buddhism is that attachment causes suffering, especially when we hide it behind beautiful, noble words like dedication or faithfulness. True loyalty does not require you to slowly destroy your own inner peace to prove your worth to someone else. Imagine you are standing on a wooden dock, holding a thick, heavy rope tied to a boat. The boat has unmoored and is being pulled away by a strong, relentless river current. As the boat drifts further away, the rope pulls tighter. Your hands burn, your muscles ache. You are being dragged to the edge of the water, but you refuse to let go because you believe that holding on means you care. You think that if you drop the rope, you are betraying the boat, but the boat is already in the current. Holding on does not bring the boat back to the shore. It only ensures that you will eventually be pulled under the dark water. Think about how this shows up in your life right now. You keep your schedule open just in case they finally reach out. You replay old, happy conversations to avoid looking at the painful reality of who they are today. You exhaust yourself trying to be the perfect, understanding presence for someone who is fundamentally unavailable. You absorb their inconsistency and call it patience. But this is not loyalty. It is a quiet, desperate attempt to control the uncontrollable. Ask yourself, look honestly at the connection that brings you so much quiet sorrow. Are you staying out of a deep, peaceful love? Or are you holding on because you are terrified of the empty space that will follow if you finally let go? Is this dedication bringing you peace, or is it feeding your fear of being left behind? Pause, breathe. Imagine that heavy rope in your hands. You do not have to pull it closer. You do not have to fight the river. Just notice how tightly your fingers are clenched. Recognize that opening your hands does not mean you never cared. It simply means you are choosing not to drown. You are allowed to be loyal to yourself first. You are allowed to realize that letting go is not an act of cruelty, but an act of profound honesty. But dropping the rope forces us to confront a much deeper illusion. And this is where the next truth begins. Because what you are waiting for might not even be the person standing in front of you. 3. The burden of potential. What if the person you are so desperately waiting for does not actually exist? Here is a truth that is painful to admit, yet deeply liberating to realize. The tighter you hold, the more you suffer. But often, you are not holding on to the reality of who they are today. You are holding on to the ghost of who they could be. We fall in love with potential. We see a spark of goodness, a fleeting moment of deep connection, and we build an entire future upon it. When they pull away, when they become inconsistent or distant, we do not look at their present actions. Instead, we close our eyes and remember how they used to be, or how we believe they will eventually become once they heal, mature, or simply realize what they are losing. You carry the heavy burden of their unlived potential, believing it is your job to wait patiently until they are ready to step into it. Buddhism reminds us that much of our daily anxiety stems from living in illusions. We suffer when we overlay our desires, fantasies, and hopes onto a reality that is showing us something completely different. True mindfulness is the practice of seeing things exactly as they are in this very moment, not as we desperately wish them to be. When you cling to a person's potential, you are refusing to accept their present reality. You are rejecting the truth of the moment in favor of a dream. Imagine standing in a dry, barren field holding a single beautiful seed. You place it carefully on a large, flat stone. Every day, you carry heavy buckets of water to the stone. You pour it over the seed. You sit beside it, imagining the magnificent, sheltering tree it will one day become. You protect it from the wind. You wait for months, exhausting yourself, wondering why no roots are forming. But the stone has no soil to offer. You are pouring all your life-giving water onto a surface that cannot grow what you are asking it to grow. Think about how this pattern repeats in your own life. You excuse their silence because you know they have a busy schedule. You accept their hot and cold behavior because you believe they have a good heart hidden beneath their walls. You wait for them to suddenly transform into the partner or friend you have designed in your mind. You put your own growth on pause, constantly watering a stone, wondering why your own spirit feels so drained, hollow, and exhausted. Ask yourself, look closely at the connection you are refusing to let go of. Are you holding on to the person they actually are right now? Or are you fiercely protecting a fantasy you constructed in your own mind? Is this hope bringing you peace, or is it feeding your illusion? Pause. Breathe. Bring your awareness back to the solid ground of the present. Observe their actions as they are today, without adding a story, a defense, or an excuse. You do not have to force a seed to grow on concrete. You can gently gather your energy and walk away. You can accept what is, but walking away from potential often leaves an uncomfortable silence. And this is where the next truth begins. Because the mind will always demand a perfect ending before it feels safe to leave the room. 4. The myth of closure. What if the final conversation you are desperately waiting for is the very thing keeping your wound open? Here is the truth few people want to face. We often convince ourselves that we cannot move forward until the other person explains themselves. You tell yourself you just need one last talk, an apology, a logical reason why they faded away, or why they keep drifting in and out of your life without fully staying. You believe that if they just handed you the missing puzzle piece, the heavy weight in your chest would finally lift. You wait for closure as if it is a physical key they hold in their hand, a key that will unlock your ability to let go and be free. So, you wait by the open door, hostage to an explanation that never arrives. In Buddhist thought, the mind's relentless demand to know why is just another disguise for clinging. We seek solid ground and absolute certainty in an impermanent, ever-changing world. But Buddhist wisdom teaches us that true peace does not come from untangling every painful knot of the past. It comes from accepting that some knots were never meant to be untangled. They must simply be laid down. Closure is not a grand, final dialogue that someone else grants you. It is an internal surrender. It is recognizing that their inability to stay is not a reflection of your worth, but a reflection of their own karma, their own journey, and their own limitations. Imagine you are walking through a dense, quiet forest and suddenly a sharp, painful thorn pierces your foot. You sit down on the forest floor, staring at the wound in disbelief. But instead of carefully pulling the thorn out so you can heal and continue your journey, you wait. You refuse to touch it. You wait for the person who dropped the thorny branch to come back and explain why they carelessly left it in your path. You demand to know their intentions. You refuse to let the healing process begin until they look you in the eye and apologize. Meanwhile, the sun is setting. The forest is growing cold, and the wound is only growing worse. We do this with our hearts constantly. You obsess over their final, vague text message. You silently analyze their actions, trying to decode their silence. You replay old memories, rehearsing exactly what you would say if they ever walked back through that open door. You put your own peace on hold, believing that their explanation will act as a cure. But here is the hard reality. Even if they gave you an answer, it would not change the past. It would not instantly erase the pain of their absence. Their words cannot heal you. Only your acceptance can. Ask yourself, think about your own life. Are you truly waiting for an explanation, or are you secretly hoping the conversation will magically pull them back into your life? What are you afraid will happen if you accept their silence as the only closure you will ever get? Is this constant seeking bringing you peace, or is it quietly feeding your exhaustion? Pause. Breathe. Feel the quiet reality of this present moment. Observe the desire for an answer without letting it consume you. Stop demanding a perfect ending to an imperfect chapter. Let the silence be the answer. You do not have to force the door open just to hear them say goodbye. You do not need their permission to move on. You can pull the thorn out yourself, right now, in the quiet of your own life. But pulling the thorn out changes the way you carry yourself. And this is where the next truth begins. Because when you finally stop pouring all your attention into the empty space they left behind, you must face the profound energy you have been losing. 5. Reclaiming your emotional energy. Have you ever noticed how utterly exhausting it is to wait? We often think of waiting as a passive state. We believe we are simply standing still. But standing still while holding a heavy door open requires immense, silent effort. You wake up feeling drained before the day has even begun. You carry a quiet, heavy fog through your work, your conversations, and your quiet moments. This exhaustion does not come from your daily tasks. It comes from the fact that your mind is constantly running a background program, scanning the horizon for a ship that is not there. You are pouring your life force into an empty void. Buddhism reminds us that our attention is our most precious resource. Where we place our attention is where we place our life. The practice of mindfulness is not just about observing the present moment. It is the profound act of calling your energy back to the here and now. When you leave an energetic door open for someone who is absent, your spirit becomes fragmented. You leave a piece of yourself in the past, dwelling on old memories, and another piece in the future, anxiously anticipating their return. Very little of you is actually left in the present to live your own life. Imagine a single bright candle burning in a quiet, dark room. The flame is steady, providing warmth and a peaceful light. But instead of sitting with it and letting it illuminate your space, you pick the candle up and carry it to an open window. You thrust it out into the cold, windy night, trying to light up the vast darkness to see if someone is walking up the path. The wind violently whips the flame. The wax melts too fast, dripping and burning your hands. You struggle and fight the elements just to keep it lit, while the room behind you falls completely into shadows. You are sacrificing your own light for an empty road. Think about how you are holding your own candle right now. You leave your weekend plans tentative, just in case they finally reach out. You spend hours analyzing their silence, trying to send love and understanding into a void, hoping it will somehow reach them and change their mind. You drain your emotional reserves trying to care for someone who is not even standing in the room. And as a result, your own life feels cold, neglected, and empty. You mistake this energetic drain for deep love, but it is simply a heavy leak in your own spirit. Ask yourself, think about your own life. Where is your light going right now? Are you using your precious energy to illuminate your own path? Or are you holding it out the window, fighting the wind for someone who is not walking toward you? Is this constant vigilance bringing you peace, or is it quietly stealing your warmth? Pause. Breathe. Visualize calling your energy back into your own body. Notice the physical sensation of sitting exactly where you are. You do not need to keep lighting up the empty street. Bring the candle back inside. You can close the window. You can let your own room fill with light again. But choosing to stop grasping requires a deep shift in how we understand love and release. And this is where the next truth begins. Because true freedom only arrives when we stop trying to anchor what was meant to drift. 6. The power of non-attachment. What if letting go does not mean you stop caring, but that you finally stop trying to control? Here is a truth we constantly resist. True peace is completely impossible as long as your hands are clenched tight. We often equate love with possession. We think that holding on proves the depth of our devotion. We cling to people, demanding they act a certain way, demanding they stay, terrified that if we loosen our grip even for a second, they will vanish completely. So, you exhaust yourself with them, with their feelings, their timing, and their presence. You believe that if you just hold on tightly enough, if you care enough, you can somehow bend reality to match your desires. You treat the connection like a fragile glass object that will shatter if you look away. In Buddhist thought, this desperate grasping is the root of profound suffering. Buddhist wisdom teaches the beautiful, liberating principle of non-attachment. Non-attachment is not coldness. It is not apathy, and it is not turning your heart to stone. It is the deep, courageous realization that everything in this world is impermanent. We suffer not because things change or because people drift away, but because we desperately try to make temporary things permanent. To practice non-attachment is to love fully, deeply, and completely, but with entirely open hands. Imagine a beautiful, delicate wild bird landing gently on the palm of your open hand. Its feathers are soft, its presence is a gift, and for a quiet moment, you feel a deep, miraculous connection. But suddenly, a dark fear rises in your chest. You are afraid the bird will fly away. So, to protect this beautiful moment, to ensure it never leaves, you slowly close your fingers around it. You trap it. In your desperate attempt to keep the bird yours, you crush the very thing you found so beautiful. The only way to truly enjoy the bird, the only way to truly love it, is to leave your hand open, allowing it to rest and allowing it to fly away when it is ready. Think about how this fear manifests in your daily life. You monitor their distance. You try to guilt them into staying by showing how much you are hurting. You try to be so endlessly accommodating and perfect that they cannot possibly find a reason to leave. You constantly check their whereabouts or overanalyze their silent periods, suffocating the connection under the heavy weight of your anxiety. You think you are protecting the bond, but you are slowly turning an open, beautiful space into a suffocating cage. You are squeezing the life out of your own heart because you are terrified of looking up at an empty sky. Ask yourself, look deeply at the person you are standing by the door for. Are you loving them with an open hand, or are your fingers fiercely clenched around the idea of them? What are you truly afraid will happen if you simply let them be free to choose their own path? Is your tight grip bringing you peace, or is it feeding your constant anxiety? Pause, breathe, unclench your jaw. Slowly imagine opening your hands and letting them rest quietly in your lap. Feel the physical sensation of releasing your need to control the outcome. You do not have to force anyone to stay, because true love is not a cage you build to trap someone. It is an open hand that allows them to come and go. But leaving your hands open requires immense courage when the bird actually flies away. And this is where the next truth begins. Because the hardest part of letting go is not the release itself. It is learning how to sit peacefully in the empty space they leave behind. 7. Trusting the space they left behind. Have you ever noticed how terrified we are of an empty room? Here is the truth. The hardest part of finally closing the door is not the physical act of shutting it. It is turning around and facing the profound, echoing silence that they left behind. You have spent so much time holding the handle, scanning the horizon, and managing the quiet anxiety of their absence that this chaotic waiting has become your normal. When you finally let go of the hope that they will return, a massive void opens up in your life. You look at your phone, and it is quiet. your evenings are suddenly your own. The familiar, exhausting rhythm of hoping and hurting vanishes, and in that sudden stillness, a deep panic sets in. We are so intensely afraid of this emptiness that we often reopen the door, inviting the cold wind back inside, simply because a familiar pain feels safer than an unknown silence. Buddhist wisdom teaches us a deeply liberating perspective about emptiness. Often, we view emptiness as a lack, a void, a dark and lonely state of missing someone. We think something vital has been taken from us. But in Buddhist thought, emptiness is the ultimate canvas. It is not a dark hole. It is a space of infinite possibility. A bowl is only useful because of the empty space inside it. A room only holds life because of the open space between its walls. The quiet space they left behind is not a punishment. It is the exact space required for your own peace to finally enter. Imagine a dense, ancient forest. For years, a massive, heavy tree has stood in the center, blocking the sun, its deep roots dominating the soil. One day, a violent storm comes and the tree falls, leaving a massive, glaring hole in the canopy. At first, the forest floor looks devastated. The earth is torn. The landscape feels wrong, bare, and painfully exposed. But slowly, because the heavy shadow has been lifted, bright sunlight finally hits the forest floor. Tiny seeds that had been dormant for years, suffocated in the dark, finally begin to sprout. The empty space was not a tragedy. It was the exact condition the forest needed to grow entirely new life. Think about the quiet moments in your own life right now. The times you instantly reach for a distraction because the silence of their absence feels too loud. The weekends that feel uncomfortably wide open. The sudden, desperate urge to check where they are or what they are doing, just to fill the blank space in your mind. You think the emptiness means you are alone. You think it means you have been abandoned, but you have only lost a shadow. Ask yourself. Look honestly at the void you are trying so hard to avoid. Are you truly mourning the person they are today, or are you simply terrified of the silence? What are you afraid you will hear if you finally sit quietly in the empty room with yourself? Is your constant need to check the open door bringing you peace, or is it just an attempt to outrun your own company? Pause. Breathe. Listen to the quietness in the room around you right now. Observe the stillness without rushing to fill it with noise or worry. Stop treating your empty space as a tragedy. Let the silence be a teacher. You do not have to fill the void today. You only need to learn how to stand gracefully inside it. But to stand in that wide open space without falling over, you must find a way to anchor yourself. And this is where the next truth begins, because the only way to survive the silence is to plant your feet firmly exactly where you are. What if the only place you can ever truly be safe is right here, in this exact moment? We spend so much of our lives mentally living somewhere else. When you are waiting for someone to return, your mind becomes a relentless time traveler. You wake up and immediately travel backwards, replaying old conversations, trying to figure out where things went wrong. Or you project yourself violently into the future, imagining the moment they finally walk back in, rehearsing what you will say. But while your mind is desperately running between yesterday and tomorrow, your actual life, the one happening right now, is left completely unattended. You feel anxious, untethered, and dizzy, simply because you are no longer inhabiting your own present life. In Buddhist thought, the root of our anxiety is often the mind's refusal to stay in the present moment. Buddhist wisdom teaches that the past is an illusion because it is entirely gone, and the future is an illusion because it has not yet arrived. The only tangible reality is the breath entering and leaving your body right now. Mindfulness is not a mystical escape. It is the radical, grounding act of bringing yourself completely back to the present. It is the deep realization that your suffering lives almost entirely in the timeline of what was or what could be, but rarely in what exactly is right here, right now. Imagine a massive, ancient tree standing on a high cliff edge during a fierce, swirling storm. The wind is howling, violently tearing at its branches. Dark clouds are racing past. If the tree tried to reach out and hold onto the passing clouds, it would uproot itself and fall into the canyon. If it tried to lean forward to catch the wind of tomorrow, it would snap in half. Instead, the tree survives the storm by doing only one thing. It sends its roots deeper into the earth. It grounds itself exactly where it stands. It does not fight the storm, and it does not chase the clouds. It simply remains powerfully rooted in the heavy, solid dirt. Think about your own day. Your body is sitting at your desk, or driving your car, or resting on your couch, but your mind is miles away, standing by an open emotional door, wondering what someone else is thinking. You are trying to catch passing clouds. You are letting the storm of their absence completely uproot your daily peace. You abandon your own present life, your hobbies, your focus, and your quiet joy because you believe your energy is better spent sitting in an invisible waiting room. Ask yourself, think about where your mind has been today. Have you actually been present for your own life, or have you been quietly living in the future, hoping they will arrive? What would happen if you pulled all of your wandering thoughts back into this exact room, in this exact second? Is abandoning your present bringing you peace, or is it making you feel completely lost? Pause, breathe, feel the physical weight of your feet on the floor. Notice the steady rise and fall of your chest. You are here. You are safe in this exact moment. You do not need to be anywhere else, and you do not need to wait for anyone else to begin living. Call your spirit back from the timeline of waiting. Sink your roots deeply into the present moment, because you cannot build a solid, peaceful life while permanently standing in a drafty doorway. But once your feet are finally planted on solid ground, there is one last, beautiful step to take, and this is where the final truth begins. Because now, you have the strength to decide what to do with the door. What if closing the door is the most beautiful act of love you can offer both to them and to yourself? We began this journey standing in the freezing wind, holding an open door for someone who never arrived. We believed that if we just endured the cold long enough, our suffering would prove our unconditional loyalty. But you have stood in the draft for far too long. Your hands are tired, your spirit is exhausted, and you now understand the hard truth. Holding the door open has not brought them back. It has only brought the storm inside. Closing the door does not mean you have to stop caring. It does not mean you are angry, bitter, or punishing them. In fact, true peace arrives when you can finally close it softly. You do not need to slam it shut in a sudden fit of rage to prove a point. You do not need to lock it with hatred or resentment. You simply need to realize that keeping it open is an illusion of control. You are finally accepting that you cannot force someone to walk through a frame they are not ready to enter. Letting go is the profound, quiet realization that their path no longer requires your painful waiting. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that non-attachment is the highest form of respect. It respects the other person's karma, their choices, and their journey by allowing them to walk their own path without your constant, anxious supervision. And most importantly, it respects your own life. When you stop fighting the reality of their absence, the heavy burden of unlived potential is finally lifted. The heavy rope is dropped from your tired hands. The empty room transforms from a place of deep, echoing sorrow into a quiet sanctuary of deep peace. Imagine yourself standing at that threshold one last time. You look out into the vast, dark night. You are no longer desperately searching the horizon. You take a deep, slow breath, feeling the freezing wind on your face for the very last time. And then, with a calm, gentle hand, you slowly pull the heavy wooden door inward. You hear the soft, final click of the latch. Instantly, the howling noise of the storm is muffled, The violent draft stops. You turn around and finally face your own room. You walk over to the hearth, sit down in the golden light, and let the fire warm your tired body. The warmth slowly returns to your fingers. The space is quiet, but it is no longer terrifying. It is deeply, profoundly safe. Ask yourself, can you feel the relief of finally putting the burden down? Can you feel the profound shift in simply deciding that your peace is more valuable than their potential? You are allowed to return to yourself. You are allowed to stop pouring your endless love into a silent void. Forgiving yourself for the time you spent waiting is the final beautiful step of healing. Do not judge yourself for holding on for so long. You stayed because you have a beautiful, hopeful heart. But now, it is time to give that unwavering loyalty to the person who truly needs it, the one who has been standing out in the cold all this time. You. If these lessons touched your heart, share this video with someone who may need a little more peace today. You can close the door now.